guys, if you're new here, my name is Andra. I make videos about public figures and media, and today we are going to talk about Euphoria girlies. So about a month ago, Sydney Sweeney got sort of cancelled for having a Republican family who was pro-Trump. She was at the birthday of her mother, where people had basically changed MAGA hats, so it said "Make 60 Great Again" instead of "Make America Great Again," and the father of Sydney had a t-shirt that was basically a Blue Lives Matter t-shirt, which is probably the worst part, not the MAGA hats, but this. This is also her brother a few years ago with a kid that has a MAGA hat, which obviously is pretty tasteless. And apparently she was exposed for racism by this person called Barbie Ferreira by saying that she was racist to her boyfriend. And the funny part is that Sydney, when she posted these pictures on social media, didn't actually didn't actually censor the Blue Lives Matter t-shirt, but was careful to censor all the pictures with the red "Make America Great Again" caps. So she thought that is too controversial to put on her profile. We found that through tagged pictures, but not the Blue Lives Matter shirt. That is okay to be apparently on your profile. So apparently this Bella person, I don't know her, but she apparently had an experience where her boyfriend scared Sydney, and Sydney had her boyfriend come and shoo him because he was doing his job, being lighting on set, I assume. All I see are red hats and red flags. Girl, bye. This explains why I got so scared when my Mexican boyfriend was trying to fix lighting by you at the HCA Awards, and you freaked out and had your boyfriend come shoo him while he was just doing his job and has no idea who you even are. Why were you so scared? Is giving Karen. Sydney took to Twitter to address this situation by saying, "You guys, this is wild. An innocent celebration for my mom's milestone 60th birthday has turned into an absurd political statement, which was not the intention. Please stop making assumptions. Much love to everyone and happy birthday, mom." So I don't see how noticing that there is a Blue Lives Matter t-shirt at the fucking, as she says, innocent celebration. I don't think a KKK gathering is innocent, allegedly, because I don't think they are KKK, but like, they behave in that way, right? The only way that this could be a wrong assumption is if this was a, like, ironic party where they would mock this type of people, but I don't see any proof that this is the case. So, no, I don't think there are assumptions. I think it's pretty clear-cut what conclusions you can draw from the situation. This whole situation prompted all the girlies of Euphoria basically getting cancelled. I would say minus Zendaya, but we're gonna talk about all of them and like the small problematic situations that all of them have been through, because I think a lot of these are not as bad as this Sydney Sweeney thing. We'll just go from like worst to least horrible. I'm gonna start with Hunter, who plays Jules, liked this post, which is a post against non-binary trans people, which I will let Kat Black talk about this because I think her take is like the best one.
Non-binary people are not the reason why red states are fighting against that. Non-binary people are not the reason why people are deciding to move against transgender people. What you might be led to believe if your conversations are very limited within this kind of true scum transmedicalist thing where you think that, oh, they're embarrassing us. These people over here who say that they don't need dysphoria, they're embarrassing us. But the reality of it is that they hate all of us. And the thing, I'm giggling because, look, this is gonna sound really harsh, but I think you have to be really disconnected from reality to think that the Republicans who sit around and want to fight against the most idealized transsexual are also going to be the people who look at you, the idealized transsexual, and say, oh, you're one of the good ones. You get to have access to hormones. You're one of the good ones. You did everything correctly. No, these people who are fighting against treatment for transgender people generally are terrified of the idea of a transgender person transitioning young, being able to assimilate into their gender, being able to be who they are, and grow up to be the gender that they are. They're fighting against that. They're trying to make that less of a thing. So they're not going to be connected to the conversation enough to hear that you did all the things correctly, you transitioned the right way, you said all the right, like, they don't care about that shit because they hate all of us. And I want for this to really sink in. They don't want us to be here. These people who are making these laws are not making these laws because they heard a non-binary person say that they don't need hormones or that they need dysphoria to be transgendered. They don't fuck with any of us. And here's another layer of it as well. Non-binary has a lot of different types of people under it. Some non-binary people are people who don't experience dysphoria. Some of those people do very much exist. There are also quite a few non-binary people who very much do live with gender dysphoria, who very much do receive medical care to treat their gender dysphoria, who very much do need insurance coverage for their access to care.
Who's gonna tell Hunter Schafer that the real enemy are cis transphobes and not non-binary people? Hunter Schafer agreeing that non-binary people are to blame for the stripping of healthcare is more about her whiteness and wealth than her trans identity. Her proximity to whiteness and wealth means she'll blame people in the community before bigoted legislators. It's exactly true, like the class interest trumps all trumps, and that's kind of ironic for this video. Anyways, next up we got Barbie Ferreira, who is Kat in Euphoria. There is apparently a Tumblr from Barbie where she used to say the N-word when she was young, and when she was confronted about it, she claimed she was black. I think these are just allegations. I haven't seen any concrete proof that such accounts were hers, but apparently she would make videos of herself smoking weed and claiming that she was black, and apparently this was a big deal before, so a lot of people know about it. But since it was in the Tumblr era, people didn't really care, which I can sort of believe. I don't know if it's true, obviously, but I can believe that people wouldn't care back then because Tumblr era was like something fucking different. As per this screenshot, Barbie has actually apologized for this and saying that she does not say the slur, she just wanted to convey the general behavior of like white girls at the time in her school. And to be honest, she was 14, so if we're not gonna forgive someone for making mistakes at 14, then are we really capable of ever forgiving someone? I would say we should give her a pass, because we don't see any proof that she's a racist nowadays as an adult. So I think it's only fair she was a kid. Next up we got Demie, who was lying about her age, which I don't think is really a problem, but the issue is that in one of her films she kissed an 11-year-old when she was allegedly 28, which is big yikes. I know that it's supposed to be artistic, but like come on guys. And when she was asked about this, she gave a very weird answer, because she just called it somewhat of an age difference, like he was 11. He's just so cool and it felt very comfortable and safe, and after thinking about it, there's no way I didn't want to be a part of it. I've always wanted to do a film that was set in another time, that felt like a dream, you know. I knew this guy's growing up in LA and also two of the other girls, so I love the way it turned out. So, I don't know, it's kind of a weird response. Apparently Sydney Sweeney also kissed a minor when she was an adult in a film. Obviously it's not the same as if someone does that in real life, but it's still fucking weird. I don't care. Next up we got Chloe Sherry, who got her role by playing Jules in a porn film, who's supposed to be a minor, so I think that's a little weird as well, even though I know that the industry is like that and they always play fucked up like minor roles in films like that. I would not watch such a thing, but I know that it's popular, which is, again, it's a societal problem. And now Maude Apatow, her dad is apparently a supporter of sexual assault, which I would not be surprised. Again, this is talking about his friendship with James Franco, and apparently her father is racist as well. And she posted this a while ago. I'm at that age where everything you say is either incredibly racist or extremely inappropriate. So this was obviously a long time ago, but I think it's still relevant to like her upbringing, basically. Her father being who he is, and all the predators in Hollywood are defending each other, so I wouldn't be surprised if she was problematic. But again, these are just allegations that like she condones that thing. I think it's kind of difficult to like separate yourself from your family when you have a person like that in your family, even if it's horrible, it's still not the easiest thing to like just completely cut them off. And lastly, everyone is saying that Zendaya is the only unproblematic one. I would tend to agree, but I have a personal gripe with her, and I'm going to elaborate it. Zendaya fans, please don't come for me. This is not like, I don't think she's a bad person, but I think again this is a Hollywood general problem, and I want to talk about it because I think it matters. So this is about Dune. Zendaya shouldn't have had a role in Dune. So now I'm gonna talk about why I don't think Zendaya should have had the role of Chani in Dune. And I'm happy that it was a person of color, don't get me wrong, but I just don't think it's right. I actually had an article prepared from Sci-Fi, which I couldn't find anymore because they fucking deleted it. So I will read you an extract of another article about this by the same author. And it's so good. In a post-9/11 world where Arabs and Islam are considered too dangerous and foreign to pass racial profiling in studio boardrooms and casting call discrimination, too taboo to be given the same equal opportunities for positive or nuanced representation as other ethnic minorities are now slowly beginning to benefit from, must we continue to wait and bittersweetly watch films like Dune that take but do not give back? And then some comments by someone else who I think has hit the mark perfectly, in that, you know, it's amazing that there is black representation nowadays, but it should not replace representation of other minorities. Just because you see brown faces on the cast list, you shouldn't applaud, because clearly all minorities aren't created equal in the eyes of Hollywood. In a story which rips off Arab Islamic history, where characters speak Arabic, no Arabs are built. Timothée Chalamet is a literal white savior. The other brown faces in the cast attempt to reflect a post-racial world in a story that has racism at the core of its narrative. So obviously Dune is supposed to be about Iraq and about the war for oil and for natural resources, and about the war on terror and the hatred of Muslims, but they put like a white savior character at the center of that. And I think it has some good attitudes towards, you know, the white saviors are not real. Like this says this, you know, later in the books it is portrayed that, yeah, Paul is not a savior and we shouldn't rely on the charismatic leader types like him. So I think in terms of like later in the story, I don't think the white saviorism is like the most egregious thing, because it's like subverted later. But if the world is like so heavily focused on like basically an inspiration of Iraq, the spice is oil, the language that they speak is pretty much Arabic, changed a little bit, and their religion is pretty much Islam, why would you cast Zendaya, who is half white, half black, and think that that is a good replacement for an Arab person? Why do you think that minorities are interchangeable? And why would someone like Zendaya, who knows what it's like to be sidelined from the industry in favor of, you know, like white people, she knows how that feels, so why would she take away the representation from someone else? This has been today's video. I hope that you enjoyed it. Zendaya fans, don't fucking come for me, I don't care. I know that I'm doing the right thing by calling this out, because I don't think it's okay. I think representation matters, but like notice how they always pick the most Eurocentric people. Like they have the Eurocentric beauty features, right? Like Zendaya, who are like light skin, like I said, with Eurocentric features. They get picked to play these roles, and I think we should demand Hollywood to do better in terms of diversity, because this is a band-aid solution. This is not fixing diversity. Like this video if you like it, or dislike if you're Zendaya stan who can't understand that this is like a wrong move from their queen. I like Zendaya too, but like this is not okay. Subscribe to this channel for more. Comment down below what you think, and if I missed anything about any of these girlies, let me know. See you next time. Bye.
Ever since the day that you